Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on my blog again this week. If you haven't already done so, subscribe down below, and then that way you'll always know when I put out new content, which is just about every single week. And then also, if you will like videos that you like, it will help me know what content people are really engaged in or want to hear more about. You know, a couple weeks ago, I went and met with a cardiologist, which was the result of going to my doctor back in the fall and saying, hey doc, my dad died when he was just 57. I'm 56. Dad had an aortic aneurysm or dissection, and that's how he died. And Dad was not in good physical shape. He did not take good care of himself. He didn't run or work out. And I'm very careful to get good exercise and really do all those right things. So the doctor said, let's go get you a scan, and then you'll go see a cardiologist. So I went and got my scan, and I got my results, and then I went to the cardiologist. And when I met with the cardiologist, he said, well, let's talk about your abnormal test results. I said, abnormal? What are you talking about? I saw the results on my chart, and it said that I had moderate plaque buildup in my arteries. He said, well, okay, moderate. He said, but yours is worse than 90% of the people your age. I was like, oh, man, I didn't want to hear that. I said, well, what do? He said, well, let's get you a stress test. I did that, and that was just fine. No problems there. Of course, they checked my blood pressure, and that was good. I'm going to do an echocardiogram. I'm going to do an ultrasound of my aorta. I said, but what can I do, doc? What are the things I need to do? He said, well, let's change your statin from 10 milligrams of this to 20 milligrams of that. Okay. He said, take a baby aspirin every day. Okay, I can do that. He said, keep exercising. He said, but you know what? If you really want to be aggressive, if you really, really want to be aggressive, you're going to become vegan. I said, vegan? I've never even thought of that. He goes, well, that's if you really, really want to be aggressive. Now, if you want to be aggressive, but not that aggressive, you'll at least become vegetarian. I said, this is not at all what I thought I was going to hear when I went to the doctor. So I called Erin on the way home, and I told her what was going on. And I said, honey, I don't want to change the way you eat, but I need to change the way I eat because I have genetically bad cholesterol and I just can't eat what other people eat. And you know what? Immediately her response was, that's okay. She said, I've been needing to make some changes. I'll change with you. My doctor would love it if I would become vegetarian or vegan. I mean, just like that, just that quickly, she changed over. And I thought, nobody does that. That's, if you know my wife, you know that's who she is. And so when we went to the grocery store that weekend, our buggy looked completely different than it looked before. There was no bacon in there like there always has been in the past. And there was no other meats either. And it was just filled with vegetables. Now, what is my point in all this? Once I heard that my physical heart could no longer receive the things that I was putting into my mouth, because what I was going in here was affecting me here, I immediately thought, I'm changing. I'm not going to keep eating the way I was before. I can find other things to eat because I want to protect my physical heart. It's important to me to protect my physical heart because I want to live as long as possible with my wife, whom I desperately love, and our kids and our new daughters-in-law and the growing family that we have. That's what's important to me. And maybe God will give me another opportunity somewhere down the road to continue to serve him. Those are all the things that I have in my mind. And the reality is, I have to make some changes. If protecting my physical heart means that much to me, then protecting my spiritual heart should mean even more. Protecting my mind. What goes in affects me spiritually and affects me mentally. What are you allowing in? If you were to do an inventory of the things that you watch on TV, or movies that you watch, or books that you read, or websites that you visit, guys, if you're going to pornography, women, if you're reading those romance novels that are kind of smutty, what are you allowing in? And because if you think it's not affecting you, it is. And I can promise you, it's not only affecting you now, it's going to affect you in the long term. You're going to discover down the road that you think different, that your personality will even be different because you're allowing these things in. And I have not always been good about that. I have been like other people and thought, well, I can watch that. It's okay. But if I think about it, I would not watch what I was watching with Jesus sitting right next to me, or with my mom in the room, or my kids. Sometimes I have allowed myself to do those things, but not anymore, because I'm thinking so much about everything that goes in. Everything that I take into me. And so what I'm encouraging you to do is to do both. I mean, you should think about what you're eating. That's really, really important. And you most certainly should be thinking about what it is that you're taking into your mind, into your heart. I really want you to think about what's going in, because what is going in is changing and shaping the way you think, and it's going to change you down the road. Peter wrote this. It comes from Leviticus, but he put it in his letter. He said, "But just as he who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, be holy because I am holy." Who is the holiest person that you know? Maybe a grandmother, maybe a sweet mother-in-law, maybe an uncle, or somebody that you've looked up to during your life. Maybe it's somebody that's in your church, right? And you know they're not sinless, but you're like, man, if somebody could be close, it's this person. This person is as close to sinless as I can imagine. Now, why are they like that? Why are they the holiest person you know? I guarantee you it's because they're careful about what they allow into them, what they read, what they watch, what they listen to. They put a guard up because they don't want those things to get in, because they know the damage they'll do and the way they'll be changed down the road. Here's my challenge. Look at what you're reading, watching, websites you're visiting, and put a guard up. Be careful about your heart too, physically, what you're putting in. You do those things and I'll do the same. And over time, we're going to be different people, much better people, the people God wants us to be. Be holy because He is holy. We can't be perfect, but we can certainly protect what goes in. You do these things, keep walking with Him. I'll do the same thing, and I'll see you next week.